Friends, fear is healthy. Irrational fear is not. Don't be fooled. This war is not between people who want to kill Americans and people who do not, as the media would lead you to believe, but between those who are rational and those who are not. Because we must ask, what is the ultimate price paid? In our case, it is not what is the price paid because of our reaction today, but what is the price paid because of our reaction in the long run. The media ignore the latter, all under the unsustainable notion of better safe than sorry. And no greater reminder exists to this than the mask. The mask has become the government's brand on your body, a sign that allows you to buy food, allows you into enclosed spaces, and in many places a sign that even allows you to walk your pet. The mask is also a sign of yet another bad decision made on your behalf. Because why in the world should a healthy person be forced to wear a mask? Look, if you fear the illness, you should voluntarily wear a mask. However, you should not make other people wear it. The same goes for staying home. If you decide not to work, that should be your decision. It is not in the jurisdiction of the government to tell people, especially healthy ones, they cannot go to work. And the fear that some infected person will go around spreading the virus without wearing a mask or by not socially distancing themselves is the price we pay and the risk we take living in a free society. And we shouldn't forget to mention that we're dealing with a virus that only now has less than a 1% chance of ending your life. And that's even if you contract the virus to begin with. Did we forget about that? Actually, your child has a greater chance of dying in a car crash than dying from this virus. But yet, the same experts that compel the healthy to wear a mask have also closed down all schools and now even forced children to wear masks. It has now become a competition among experts and government officials of who can be safer without asking what are the consequences. In no way acknowledging that too safe can also be a bad thing. The initial theory for the mask and even the shutdown to begin with, as per epidemiologists, was not to eradicate the virus, but only to possibly slow it down, hoping that a vaccine may appear sooner rather than later. A decision that the U.S. government in the past never dared to make, even when 116,000 Americans died in 1957 because of the Asian flu. Why? Because, at least in this area, Americans were wiser in the past. But it's also worth mentioning that back then, they didn't have a media hell-bent on spreading fear. Because, as you probably already know, that slowing down the virus also has a price, and that's the prolongment of the virus. And accompanied by a shutdown that can't be maintained for much longer, puts us in the predicament that we are in now. The problem is that the left-wing media, as well as left-leaning politicians, have never truly appreciated what makes our economy function in the first place, which is capitalism, and therefore have no issue halting our society for an even longer period and ignoring its consequences, which I must remind you are mass unemployment, increased substance abuse, depression, suicide, violence, mass starvation, especially in third world countries, and sending many countries back decades economically. Now, these consequences are not theoretical like the epidemiological models are, but certain to occur if we scare and force a society into a standstill. So, when you put on the mask and you are under 70 without a compromised immune system, and when you have less than a 1% chance of dying if you even contract the virus, you have a part in delaying the only true virus killer, and that is herd immunity, and the vaccines that will then arise because of that immunity, which is actually the path that the nation of Sweden pursued. That's right, Sweden did not lock down, nor did it force its citizens to wear masks. Friends, because masks help stop sick people from transmitting the virus, not healthy people from contracting it in normal circumstances. Again, because if you're worried about droplets in the air entering your mouth or nostrils, they can just as easily enter your eyes. So let's be realistic unless you're about to live in a hazmat suit. Let's face the fact that this will not be the only virus we will have to deal with in our lifetime. So just as we have dealt with over 60,000 deaths yearly because of the regular flu, or the 200,000 deaths yearly because of medical malpractice, we cannot add to those numbers by imposing draconian measures that by all estimates will end up killing more than the original virus.